All right, what's up everybody? As you can see, we've got a fairly fat stack of product here. This is all from Dometic. They make a variety of products. I think they're based out of Sweden. I used to have a Dometic fridge freezer in a Volkswagen camper van that I had, and ended up getting a really good deal on some products. So we purchased a number of different items from them. Just gonna do a first look here, and then hopefully I can put it to use and come back with a bit of a review on how it's actually functioning. We're gonna take a look at each item here, just do a quick unboxing. Hydration water faucet, and it's got a tube, and basically I guess when you push the button it turns on, and you can set it to either turn off after a minute or after 1 liter of water has come out. This is the hydration jug that they make, so it's an 11-liter jug. So basically you have kind of like a portable sink. And then next up, these are hard-sided storage containers. And we got 2 of these. I've been using something similar to this that's plastic for organizing camp supplies. Hopefully these are a little more durable and a little better functioning. They're supposed to be waterproof and dustproof. They've got kind of like a rubber flap on the front here. And so basically you've got what seems to be like brushed aluminum, and then just a big open inside. And it does have like a gasket seal all the way around it. So when you close it, the flaps just fold down underneath there. Hopefully they stay secure. They're a little bit floppy. And then you can lock it if you want from one or both sides. You could probably fit like a small cable lock or something around there too if you wanted to try to lock it to a tree. With these powered coolers, you can run them off of like a wall plug, 120, which your vehicle might have, like our Tacoma has one in the bed. You can also run it off the cigarette lighter, or you can run it off portable power, which is what we've got here. This thing's a bit of a beast. This is Dometic's PLB40. It's 500 watt hours, 400 amp hour, portable lithium battery. Pretty simple. It looks like it's a much simpler design than our Goal Zero, and we'll hopefully be able to power this fridge for anywhere from 2 to 4 days. We're gonna take a look at the fridge itself, and we ended up picking up the 45 liter, which is the exact same footprint as the 35, but it's 3 inches taller. It's 19 inches instead of 16. The next size up would be a 55, which has an ice maker built in. Then they also do a 75 and I believe a 95. The 75 and 95 have separate compartments, so you can have a freezer and a fridge, and all of them can freeze. They all go down to -7, so if you want it to be a freezer instead of a cooler, you can do that. And I believe they make down to a 25 liter as well. Smaller ones, up to the 45, open from the end. The 55 and up, they open sideways. And be careful with these handles. They have a really strong return on them. And then you've got an AC input down here if you're going in, or you've got a DC input. All of your readings and your temperature settings up here. Little basket, this large basket. Oh cool, it's got a divider in it. And it looks like it has a drain at the bottom too. And so you can see this is fairly deep. And then obviously, unlike a normal cooler, you don't get all the space because you do have the cooling element built in down there. And I think that was 41 pounds, so not super light, obviously much heavier than your standard cooler, probably around what like a Yeti weighs. One thing to keep in mind as far as the volume goes is that with these, you don't have any ice in there. And so not only is that really nice and convenient, your stuff's not all wet, you don't have to keep your food from getting wet, but you also gain a lot of volume. And the last thing, it's a protective cover for the coolers. These have really good reviews. People said they fit really well. It's really nice. The material feels really good. And then they set it up so that you get all the proper ventilation still. We could look at the instructions.
Oh, you gotta take it off.
the lid?
You gotta take the seal off.
The seal?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. It does come right off. Look at this.
And then you put the hooks and then you put it back on.
Look at this.
Yep.
All right, people, lesson learned. Seal comes off. Ooh. You hear that sound of precision? That's Swedish precision. Are they Swedish while I keep saying that? It's made in China, so.
Yeah, they're Swedish.
So you gotta be a little careful because when you go to grab the handle, that's where the flap is. All right, there it is with the cover on it. I'm sure that's gotta provide a little extra insulation. It's like one more layer of fabric. The top is actually soft, where the sides are just kind of tough, which is awesome. And then if you're setting stuff up here, you got a little bit of a soft touch to it. Yeah, if you're gonna be using it in a rough space, I think this is really nice. Because we've got a plug in the bed of the pickup, we might end up having this back there with boats and gear around it. So I think this would be nice to have a little bit of extra protection. The cooler itself seems pretty tough, so I don't think it's necessarily required, but it is nice and they did a good job of putting it together. Hopefully the zippers hold up. Okay, so we are just digging into the faucet, super lightweight. Comes with the USB charger and a couple other pieces here, and apparently the way it works, I thought it threaded on to where this comes off, but basically it has a hose, it has its own hose. You run that hose from the back into this. So it has a little clip like a standard hydration bladder would, and that runs to the bottom. So essentially you can use this on any jug. You just have to have this be able to run into water. And then you take and you put the adhesive back magnetic down onto the base here. Wow. PLB40, super simple. Fuse, AC input, DC input. You can do a 2-pin as well. And then these are 12 volt DC out, 12 volt DC 2-pin. That's the one I was referring to, and then USBs. The way their 12 volt DC works is you unthread the end, and then it is a 2-pin. So a bunch of people were commenting that like, oh, where do I buy this cord to be able to use the 2-pin? But from what I saw on the reviews, it's supposed to thread apart. And then that's your 2-pin. Yep, that's cool. So that goes right in there, and then the whole base like threads tight down in, and then it cannot come out. The other nice thing about this is that a couple people that I was talking to were saying because it looks pretty simple, it's a little less obvious that it's like a really expensive lithium battery and maybe a little bit less likely to get stolen. Okay, so there's everything all together. As far as prices go on this stuff, the water jug retails for about $70. It does come in 3 colors now, but like I said, Dometic was out of stock on all of them, so I had to buy this through another retailer, and this was the only color that they had, so I'm guessing this was probably like the first color that came out. Since then, they've come out with one that's kind of like a tan color, and I think one was a little bit of like an off blue. Next up in price would be the faucet. Retails for right about $100, $150 for each of the hard cases, $150 for the cover for the cooler. The PLB40 lithium battery runs about $850. The CFX3 45 liter is $1,050. So that gives you kind of a rough sense for what retail is on all these. The only issue I've found is if you look at these flaps, this one looks like maybe it's shipped bent up, and so I'm not sure if that's gonna come out or not. Hope that helps you out, gives you something to think about. As I get to use these items a little more, I'll post a follow-up review. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you down the road. All right, are we forgetting anything? It's pretty thorough. That's probably way too much.